January is Sanctity of Life Month, and we are so grateful to have Amanda join us. Amanda comes to us from Samaritans Ministries, where she is the marketing coordinator and runs their very special ministry called the Little One Ministry. This ministry reaches out to hundreds of women suffering miscarriages. Not only does this ministry acknowledge the dignity of worth of the smallest human beings among us, it reaches out with extra care and focused prayer with a unique effort to comfort parents who are dealing with the loss of their very young babies.
My story actually starts 11 years ago this month. I was very, very early in my pregnancy, and we kind of had seen this. It was a surprise pregnancy. We had seen it as kind of God's stamp of approval on this big move of faith that we had decided to take. So we arrived here in Peoria, where I knew no one, and 3 days later, I began to miscarry. And it really it sent me into a very dark spiral. Not only did I lose my baby, but I also was in a completely unknown new town to me. I felt so alone, so isolated, and now I was grieving. I was grieving the loss of my baby. I was grieving the loss of all that I had dreamed would be, and now it was not going to happen. As I sat in this spot, it really was where the Lord met me. And women that I didn't know at all. I don't even know how they found out that I was in this spot. From a local church, they began showing up at my door. They brought meals. They would just sit with me. Honestly, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know these people, but they would just sit with me. They would let me cry. And that was really when God helped me understand that He saw me. Right there. He had not forsaken me. He was with me, and He was caring for me through these ladies. The grief that somebody is going through cannot be rushed and cannot be hurried, but over time, as I processed through that, the Lord started to help me see that my pain could help others, because all of a sudden I was hearing of so many other women who had walked this same road and hadn't shared it with anybody. And they had just kind of suffered it alone. And as I continued to hear more stories like this, one day I was sitting at work and I was reading through the prayer requests that our members are able to post. And it just occurred to me that I had been reading so many prayer requests about families of our members that had had miscarriages and stillbirths and early childhood loss. And I thought, well, what the Lord did for me can be duplicated. And so a small group of us got together at Samaritan, and we just started dreaming. And we put together the idea of sending care packages.
Love that.
And so we actually have about 40 packages that we send out on a monthly basis. And we have just a little memento to honor their baby. And we've put together a really beautiful little booklet called Mourning with Hope. And it has stories of others who have walked this road, and different encouragements, and really just what we hope people, moms and dads, can use to process their grief.
How many families have you ministered to?
So we started our ministry, Little One Ministry, in May of 2018, and we're coming up to about 1,500 families that
Wow.
able to
That's amazing.
guide.
What do you feel like you can say to women to encourage the women that are going through or walking through that grief?
So honestly, I would say to support a friend who is walking this road is to just be available and to just sit with them.
Yeah.
I think that anytime we go through pain and suffering, if we see that it can help somebody else, it brings meaning.
Yeah.
We're a healthcare sharing ministry, and we bring together people who are believers in Jesus and care for one another when there's a medical need. And so in that way, we don't have insurance. We're caring for one another's medical needs. And so I've heard feedback from our members saying that this is an experience that they would have never expected.
Well, I will tell you from personal experience, I am a member of Samaritan's Ministries, and our daughter was in a very tragic accident in our home. And I will say, as a member, it was very unexpected and overwhelming. What comfort those letters and handwritten cards and stickers for my daughter. I mean, you name it. Their kids drew pictures for her. They sent little prizes. They sent cards. It meant the world to us. Something I didn't even know that we needed at that time was just, I'm like, wow, there's people in Idaho praying for our daughter, praying and believing in her healing. And it was so amazing. So I can only imagine, it makes me emotional, but I can only imagine how this must feel, especially when you think about your story and how you were alone in that time, and there may be women out there who are going through that alone, and to get that card or that, that book or something that makes them feel like someone's connecting to them, that's huge.